welcome back to the Vibrant Yoga Woman. I'm so excited that you are here. We are traveling right up from the base of the spine to the crown of the head, experiencing and exploring the chakras, the 7 major energy centers. And we've been hearing from so many wonderful experts on the fields of yoga, Ayurveda, Chinese medicine. I hope that you are taking in the tips and the tools that these women are offering to you and putting it into your life so that you can feel more balanced, more connected to yourself, and really make yourself a priority. That's what this is about. For us as women to put ourselves first, put our body first, and schedule ourselves in our lives through the healing practices. Welcome. We are in the 5th chakra. We are right in the power center of your throat. This is your right to speak your truth, to speak clearly. It's also about listening. This is about communication. And there's just so much here. It's so rich. And the word is Vasud, the Sanskrit word for this energy center, which translates to purify, which I think is super profound, because as we get connected to our voice, as we step into our confidence and we speak clearly, and we're listening and we're communicating, we really are clearing our way to live our best life and to make our best contribution. And today I have such an awesome guest with me. Lynn Kirkham is in the house. Hey, Lynn.
Hi, Rebecca.
And I am going to do something I haven't done yet, and it's because I want you guys to really know Lynn and what she has to offer. So I'm going to be putting on my glasses right here for a second because this is just so cool. I want you to take this in. So everyone just take a deep breath and tune in as I read a little bit about Lynn. The moment she said yes, pushed through her terror of public speaking and delivered her powerful story in front of a crowd of 400, Lynn Kirkham went from a wallflower to a woman on a mission. She has since empowered more than 1,000 professionals to feel comfortable in their own skin, come out of their shells, and step firmly into their own voices with unstoppable confidence. Lynn's students leave her one-of-a-kind training with a yes, excited to share their message from important job interviews to large public stages. Her secret sauce is in her exceptional ability to see people in ways they've never been seen before, so that they can show up in ways they had only dreamed they could. Her passion and her San Francisco-based Bay Area company has successfully coached corporate professionals, high-tech CEOs, TEDx presenters, solo entrepreneurs, small business owners, and many underserved women. You can see why I want her here today to speak with us, right? Prior to launching her company, she spent 20 years as a top producing commercial printing executive and manager. Her success allowed her to go on a 7-year sabbatical dedicated to giving back 3 of those years, a solo journey around the globe. It was during her stay at an orphanage in India, taking care of 36 girls who had no voice, that she made the commitment to unleash as many voices as possible in the time she has left on this planet. This is so powerful, Lynn, and that's why I wanted to read a little bit about this, because it's just, this is why you're here, to help women reclaim their voice, to get over that fear of speaking. Tell us a little bit about this journey that you've been on.
Oh my goodness. Thank you for reading that, Rebecca. I'm really excited to be here. And yes, you know, my voice was always tamped down. For most of my life, even though I was in sales, I wasn't able to really show up. If I was in a room with 3 people, or if there were authority figures in the room, I went mute. It was like my throat chakra just closed up, and it was not open for business. And it was embarrassing because I would say hello and then I would let everyone else speak, even though I was in sales, right? I would let everybody else speak and then I would say goodbye. Believe it or not, I was still top in my field because I really mastered one-on-one communication. And it just required a lot more work for me to be top. But I have been able to take this mastery of one-on-one communication to a larger audience. And I remember when I was at the orphanage, Oh my gosh, there were 36 girls there and they were just so beautiful. I wanted to take several of them home. And I realized that they were given what they needed, but they had no voice. And it was at that moment, it felt like 150 degrees. I was taking a bath using a bucket, and I just became a stand for women and girls to find their voice, because this is our time. This is really our time. And I believe that we were put on this earth for a reason and a purpose, and that our job, our birthright is to express that. And if we can't through our body and through our voice, then we're really living an unfulfilled life. So yeah, so that's why I'm doing what I'm doing, girl.
It's so beautiful, and you can feel it in you. And you know, Lynn and I know each other. We've known each other for years. We haven't seen each other lately, and I want to see you. I get to see you right now, but I see you. It's so authentic. That's something that I really appreciate about you. And I love the part where you said the reason that you're able to help women, one of the reasons is because you see them in a way that they haven't been seen before. Talk a little bit about that, and how important is that in your work in helping women to get to the point where they can get excited to say yes to speaking?
Yeah, it's so funny. I'm getting choked up. Literally, I'm about ready to cry. I don't know why, other than it's women we're so hard on ourselves. We are so hard on ourselves. And we think that by judging ourselves that we can become better. But whenever we judge something about ourselves, it really locks what we're judging in place. Meaning it takes a lot of convincing to change your mind. And judging yourself so that you can become more confident, or you could become a better speaker or a better yoga instructor or just a better person, really isn't going to help you. It really isn't. And so my way is to really connect deeply with the eyes, and see what is behind that exterior. The eyes are the windows to the soul. And what I'm really great at is seeing that pure potential, seeing that light, and then igniting it so that they can feel it too.
I imagine that is so powerful in session with you and in the room with you, because yes, we all, are here. We want to be seen. We want to be heard. We want to be able to open up our ability to communicate and to be in your presence, which I have been. I can feel the love that you have. So I imagine that the women, obviously they start to feel so safe in your presence and in your coaching. And this is something that we all need so much in our lives. Obviously, even with how they've changed education, kids are learning to speak and collaborate much more than they ever used to. And it is very stifling when you can't speak your truth, you can't give your talk. And I feel that what you're helping women with is changing their lives in such a profound way. And I want to ask you, like, for you personally, was it, were you able to just get out there and do your thing? Like, what was the key for you to make your own transformation, to be able to get out there and speak in front of 400 people?
Oh my gosh, no. So when I got back from my 3-year journey around the world, where I was just literally asking every day, okay, who am I supposed to serve? And then giving back in that way, I was asked to speak in front of 400 people. It was a Unity church up in Marin. And yeah, I still remember Reverend Bill. He looked me in the eyes and he said, I love your story. You took such a leap of faith journey, and our congregation needs to hear it. And I want you on my stage. And I immediately just said, no way, thank you, but no, I am not meant to be up there. My teeth chatter with 3 people, I might throw up on stage. So, And he looked me in the eye, and this changed my life. He looked me in the eyes and he said, Lynn, you are meant to speak. You are a leader. I know that you are going to rock this house. I will be by your side every step of the way if you say yes. And in that moment, he changed my life, because he was an exceptional speaker and leader, and he saw something in me that I never saw in myself. And in that moment, I began to believe in myself. And what I had to do before I got on that stage was literally go back to my past and find out what happened that still has a negative charge on me today. Where was it that I messed up in front of people? Where was it that I was bad and wrong with my parents? Where was it that I felt like I didn't belong? I had to look at all those pieces of my life and find literally, where did I store these things in my body? They're not just in your head, they're literally in your cells. And then I gave them voice, and I released them from my consciousness or from my nervous system. I still can remember these things, but they don't run me anymore because I don't have a charge around them. When I think about that time that, you know, everybody laughed at me for forgetting my line and I felt like I was going to die, I can relive that moment now with zero charge. Or those times when, you know, my mom yelled at me and I felt really hurt and angry and sad and like I didn't belong. I can relive those moments, and I have absolutely no charge authentically.
I love that you're using the word charge, because we're talking about the chakras, we're talking about energy. And, you know, Anodea Judith, who's my chakra queen, her newest book is called Charge. And what you're talking about is having these blocks in your energy centers. And so, and it's not just you get it in one place and not another, like it's all related. And so, you know, today the name of this talk is actually empowering the voice of your heart. And so we come from the place of the heart in order to open our fifth chakra and speak our truth. And it also goes the other way. When we start dreaming into what we want in our lives, we start giving it voice and we start telling people about it. Then we start to come into relationship. We come into the heart with people. So it's this very interesting process. And I love what you're talking about how you had to look into your past and see what made me stop talking when I got in front of people. What was the fear? What was I afraid of? And I know that you developed a modality around this for helping women to release these past memories that are holding them back, that are keeping their voices shut down. Can you talk a little bit about the modality that you've developed?
Yes. So I've worked with, I know you said 1,000 people, which is what I think it used to be. It's probably up to 1,500 now. But anyway, what I've realized is that, you know, you could read 100 books on public speaking or watch 100 YouTube videos and know exactly what to do and what not to do. But then when the moment comes and you're on stage or you're giving a presentation at a meeting or you're teaching a yoga class, there's something that gets stirred up in your nervous system. You get triggered. And when that triggering happens, all bets are off. It doesn't matter what you know to be true, your nervous system takes over. And so what I realized is that it's not enough for most people to just come into a training to learn exactly, you know, what to do and what not to do and how do you connect with the audience and like that. We need to do some deeper work, because it's the past trauma or those past painful events that are actually running us every single day of our lives, even though we don't realize it. You know, it's kind of this tape that's running in the background all the time. And when it gets triggered, what happens is our guard goes up, and then it's really, really hard for us to connect, and we get really locked in our head. And then the other people who are with us, they feel like, ooh, I can't relate to you. And they might treat us basically, believe it or not, the same way our parents did when we were 5 or 7, because they're feeling that triggered energy and they're reacting to it. But anyway, I've come up with this modality that it's called the core repatterning technique. And I'll tell you what, it's faster than anything that I've ever seen, and it seems permanent. My prayer had always been, why do we have to keep peeling the layers of the onion? Why can't we just pull out the onion? So many of us have done so much work for so many years, and it's like, oh, I thought I dealt with that, and there it comes creeping back up again. So anyway, this technique is, we literally would identify the top 20 or 25 painful events of your past, and it could be little traumas or honkin' abuse traumas, right? that full spectrum. And with each one of them, first I would take you up to the seventh plane, up to, where the divine is, because so much magic happens up there. And then we literally take them one by one, find out where they are in your body, go into the pain body. I'm sure a lot of your listeners are familiar with Eckhart Tolle's work and the pain body. Well, he says that if we can just go into the pain body and bring it consciousness, that pain will release. But most of us have a hard time staying in the pain. Our monkey mind goes everywhere. And so what I do is I help my people, my students, to stay in the pain just for a few minutes, seriously. And we give it authentic voice. Like, she hurt me, she hurt me, she hurt me. I hate her, I hate her, I hate her. It wasn't fair. It's not fair. It's not fair. And I have them say things 3 times, because when we say things once, it lets go of about 25% of the charge. Second time, let's go of about 2/3 of the charge. Third time, typically, believe it or not, because of where we are, really basking in that divine light, after saying it 3 times, it tends to eliminate it from their nervous system. And then we bring in some light, and boom, it's gone. And most charges, believe it or not, even the big scary ones that people might have been working on with therapy for years and years and years, are gone in about, 15 minutes, 10 minutes. Very fast. Very fast.
So powerful and helpful to know that we can have this, learn this technique from you and put it in our lives, and actually start to release some of the trauma, release the blocks, that we're not continuing to carry those around with us. And when we have those blocks free, we become freer. We're able to not be triggered when we speak. And I imagine that when you're working with your clients, that once they've done some of this processing, when they get back up to speak, it's a completely different experience.
Oh my gosh. Yes. They can actually get up and not be triggered. They can take up space. They can use their voice for good. Their guard stays down. They can come from their heart. And a lot of my training is about, how do you speak from your heart? How do you stay connected with your commitment to your audience, number one, and your why. And then how do you stay connected with the eyes of your audience? And then how do you connect with your highest and best self and get out of your head so that the words can actually just come through? And it's a beautiful way to speak, because then you don't have to actually memorize what you're going to say. You can just be present and be in the moment. So it's really a lot like yoga. The more present we are, the more our heart will be able to speak to the audience that is in front of us.
Such a good point. And a lot of the women listening today, some of them are entrepreneurs, some of them are speakers, some of them are yoga teachers, some of them are family managers. I like to call the stay-at-home mom who runs the whole household. So we have women from all walks of life. And I'm curious, how do you feel being in the 5th chakra and being able to speak your truth and communicate in this way is helpful to somebody who's not actually doing it publicly? Are you finding that people come to you even if they don't want to? Have you worked with people who don't have a big platform, but they still get a big benefit?
Oh, big time. Yes, absolutely. I work with a lot of introverts, a lot of people who have been very shy their entire life, and they are just tired of blocking themselves from their own happiness and from their own self-expression. And like we said earlier, it's our birthright to be expressed, whether it's with our partners, whether it's with our kids, whether it's at work, whether it's if we're teaching a class. It doesn't matter. It's our birthright to be fully expressed.
And some of us, a lot of us, not everybody, but a lot of us are yogis, and we have a yoga practice, or there's many people here I know who are like, I'm getting into yoga because of all the good stuff that you've heard here. But regardless of that, there are tools in yoga that many of us do know. And what are some of those qualities, some of the tools that we've learned in yoga that can actually help us to be more empowered with our voice?
Oh my gosh. Even just the mountain pose right? So what happens when we're in the spotlight is all of our energy goes up to our head, and our head starts spinning, trying to figure out what to say and how to say it, and what are they thinking, and all those things that are going on in our mind. And then we lose our ground. So just doing mountain pose is really, really helpful. Really feeling the musculature in your legs from your feet, you know, up your legs, up your spine to your head, you know, having that string attached to your head and just helping you rise. Another thing that I teach all the time is the alternate nostril breathing. You know, you've got your thumb on one side, you take a breath in, and then you hold it, and then have your ring finger on the other side and exhale. And then inhale, same side for 3. Hold for 3. Exhale for 3. One more. Hold. Exhale. And just a few rounds of that can really help calm your nervous system. If you're not able to do this because of where you are, another great breathing technique would be to just inhale for 4, hold for 4, exhale for 8.
Those are great techniques, and it's interesting. I use this in my classes. I do what's called a Kumbhaka breath technique, where you're using the Ujjayi breath. So you have the constriction at the back of the throat. You can hear the vibration of breath as you're breathing in through your nose, out through your nose. And we breathe in for 4, we hold for 4 or more, but I usually walk people through it and I count them through it. And then we exhale for 4. And we do that several times, and it's so interesting because just that little bit of 3 or 4 minutes in the beginning of the practice, when I start like this, everyone gets more connected. Everyone gets more present. It's really powerful to witness that. And so thank you for reminding us that we can use the tools that we already have before we step out onto the stage, before we have that next interview, before we're doing whatever it is that we are doing that involves our speaking. We can really set ourselves up for success by going to the tools of yoga, going to the breath, going to mountain pose, standing with our feet on the ground and feeling the energy rooting down and rising up. Is there anything that you give people, like say they're going to go onto a TED Talk or the stage, behind stage, are there any like, okay, do these 3 things before you go out there, besides breathing, like moving the body? Are there any things that you find helpful?
Absolutely. You know, you can do jumping jacks. Doing jumping jacks right before you get on is great for just getting rid of the, you know, excess energy. Standing and looking at the 4 corners of the room. So just look at the 4 corners of the room and claim it as yours, saying, I own this room. So many times we walk into a room and it could be one person in that room and we feel like, oh gosh, you know, they make us smaller. And if you're presenting to a large room, then, you know, you have the potential of getting smaller. And what you want to do when you're on stage is not to perform, but you want to have your energy authentically large, right? So that you can meet their energy. And so just looking at the corners of the room and saying, I own this room. It's my room. Just claiming your space is really, really good. You know, just, by the way, before I forget, I actually have a free video for everyone, and it's called 7 Keys to Stop the Jitters and Reclaim Your Voice. So there will be a link to that.
Absolutely. And those are such great tools. Anna Judith, again, my chakra queen, she taught me how to, like, jumping is a really good rooting the energy. And as you said, I love that you said when you go out to speak, I didn't realize this, your energy goes up to your head and you can feel the cutoff. Like that's why we don't feel connected sometimes, because we're not in our heart, we can't connect. And so when you're jumping, you're moving the energy down, you're moving it down, and you're getting the whole thing, like that physical movement. You're dispersing the nerves and doing all those things. That's so good. And I want to share the link with everyone to your gift because it's so great. It's a free gift, and it's a way you can get more connected to Lynn Kirkham. I'm just going to read it here. It's great. So it is Yes You Can Speak. That's the name of Lynn's company. She's the CEO. She's the founder of Yes You Can Speak. And you're going to go to, just to get connected to her website and see all that she's doing, is yesyoucanspeaknow.com. And she has this great gift, which is 7 keys to stop the jitters and reclaim your voice. And so this video training is going to help you calm your fears, stand in your power, and speak from your heart. And I just want to give you the link, and this is kind of a long link, but I'm going to read it out to you. And then just remember that we have our Facebook group, which is Happy, Healthy, Vibrant. And you can get there by going to facebook.com/groups/HH Vibrant/. And I'm asking all the speakers to join us over there so that we can continue the conversation, get more connected to each other. And we're going to be posting all of the links on that Facebook page as well. Those of you, you have 24 hours to listen to this again. So if you need to come back, you can, but you can also upgrade. And then all of the links and all of the interviews on the entire series are going to be there for you. During this series, it's only $47 to upgrade. So get it now. Once we conclude on the 17th, it'll go up to $97. So get in here now, get all this good stuff. And I'm going to read this link off to you. Again, it's a longer URL, but I want those of you who want it now to have it. It's https://mail. Actually, I lied. I'm not going to read this off to you because you're not going to get it. It's going to be too long. But I'm going to post it in your email today. You're going to get it, and it's going to link you right to her gift. It's a video gift. So that's what's so great too, is it's a short video that's going to help you bring your presence from the mat to your communication out into the world. And Lynn is she's such a great speaking coach. So I really want you guys to know that she's right here in the Bay Area. Those of you who are local, she does such phenomenal work helping people get into their voice and get into their power, because really that's what's happening. When you're getting into your voice, you're reclaiming your power. And I'm just so grateful that we got to hear from you, Lynn. Is there anything else you want to share with everyone?
Other than this video is really some of my top tips and very practical, applicable things you can do right away, right before a talk, so that you really show up fully. So I highly recommend that video. Honestly, it's about 5 minutes or so, and I go through it really fast, and you'll be able to just put it into action and feel a lot better. There's even a tool around how do you program your conscious and your subconscious mind so that you get the outcome that you want instead of what you don't want. How do you stop the worrying? Because if we're worried about showing up, then we're going to actually not show up as powerfully as we're meant to. And so we've got to tame the mind.
That's so perfect, because as we go up from the 5th, we're coming into the 6th, which is so much about mind and subconscious, dreaming, intuition, imagination, and that those dialogues that go on in our mind, they are the voice. And so it is about taming that voice, reprogramming. As we talked about, we're purifying. So we are releasing the negative talk. We're releasing the subconscious beliefs. The subconscious is responsible for 80% of our decision making. So if we don't handle what's going on there, we're on autopilot a lot of the time. And so when you can start to make new beliefs, clearly defining what you want in your life, you are setting yourself up for success. And it sounds like that is also pieces of that are in this video.
Oh, absolutely. And, I like how you just said, 80% of us are driven by our subconscious mind. That's exactly why we have the core repatterning technique. Because if you can let go of the trauma of the past, your subconscious can calm down and just let you live your life.
And then you can come from this place where you are empowered, you're in your heart, you're speaking your truth, and there's just so much to this, so much more. And I want people to find out more from you, learn from you. Lynn has these great courses that she teaches. Would you mind just talking a little bit about like the structure of the course, and do you offer them once a year, 4 times a year? Like, how does it work?
Yeah. So I've got two-day trainings. Irresistible Public Speaking, that's a 2-day training. It happens on 2 Saturdays. My next one actually is September 7th and 14th, November. Yeah, and then November. But what we do is we really desensitize you around eye contact. So many people have a really hard time around making eye contact and staying connected with themselves at the same time. And if you want to be a really great speaker, you must make eye contact and feel comfortable in your own skin doing it. And so we desensitize you, and then we teach you literally, how do you become that channel of inspired speaking? How do you step into your flow state and command a room very authentically and from your heart? And then level 2 is called Inspired Speaking and Leadership. And that's another 2 days. And gosh, it's about who are you as a leader, first and foremost of yourself, and then leading others. And it's really about how do you, number one, how do you master the skill of having an idea in your heart and then just stepping into your flow state and delivering it so that your audience can really receive it. And how do you really be in service to your audience rather than afraid of your audience? How can you be in service? So it's a paradigm shifting course. And then also, how do you bring out the best in yourself, and how do you bring out the best in others? Both of the courses are just all about building on strengths. We know what we're not good at. We know what we do wrong. You don't need me to tell you that. What you need me to tell you is, what are you doing right? What are your unique traits as a speaker? And how can we even enhance those? So what happens for 98% of the people is in 4 days, they're over their fear, and they have a permanent shift in how they show up in front of a group. So lifelong fears are gone.
So powerful. This has been such a great conversation, and I hope everyone listening is feeling the beauty of your voice. And if you're thinking like, oh my gosh, I need this, we have the free gift for you. We will post the link to get to that in your email. You'll actually get it right after this call airs. And also, it is available on the Facebook group, which is Happy, Healthy, Vibrant. You can either type that in or go to facebook.com/groups/HH Vibrant. One more little /, or you can go look for Lynn right on her website, which is youcanspeaknow.com. And
yes, you can speak now.
Sorry, yes, you can speak now. All of that, you need it all. Yes, you can speak now.com, and you will be able to get connected to her, because this is one area in our life where I believe that we can never have too much training. Like, I want to come to your workshops, and I probably will, because I love what you're talking about. I love the piece about finding where you are as a leader. And even though I am a speaker, I know I'm a speaker, I'm good at it, I can jump out there and speak in front of a crowd, but it wasn't always like that. But even with that, there's room for me to grow, room for me to really step into my role as a leader. And I love that you teach that training as well. So this is phenomenal. Thank you so much for being with us. And thank you everyone for listening. Remember, you can upgrade, you can join us on the Facebook group, you can have all these tools right at your fingertips, learning how to speak, learning how to purify what you're wanting in your life by getting connected to yourself and releasing those blocks. Lynn, thank you so much for being here.
Oh, thank you, Rebecca. I loved being with you, and thank you for doing what you're doing. Oh,
you are so welcome. And thank you everyone for tuning in and spending your time with us. Namaste.
Namaste.